I'm from a royal home, and I don't care about it and all that, because there are some things that you will not even like it. If you are a good Christian, you know about it, you read your Bible, you will know that this thing, I'm not supposed to be doing it, is not good. So as for me, when Queen got married to the king, I was like, are you sure this woman is a good Christian? Because if you are a good Christian, you will not even bother to go into that marriage. But along the line, I was on Gist Lover page, and I was reading about it. I was like, I think this woman is going to pull out later on if she's a good Christian and all that. Not that maybe the king is fetches or something, but there are some things that is their culture that they need to do, that is a must for them to do. So that is my whole point of view. That maybe the queen is not comfortable with all those things and all that. She just has to pull out. So,
okay. Thank you. Yeah. Thank you so much for that point of view. We have the other lady on my left.
Hello, the volume for now.
Lady that just be patient. Hello, my darling. How are you doing?
Hi.
What's your name, and tell us what your opinion is?
I think I don't know. What was she thinking going into the marriage at first? What did she think? They're two different backgrounds, two different spiritual backgrounds. So was she thinking of going there to change the Ooni of Ife or what?
That religion was never a problem. She clearly said it. Let me read it.
Yeah, but okay. If she no. I think she went there thinking, okay, she was young, she can persuade the Ooni of Ife to like do differently, or maybe she felt okay, she's going in and has to be different. That's what she felt. Because
and even before going to such marriage, she's supposed to go for the background. And I married a Igbo. I'm a Yoruba from Abeokuta. And before I got married to my husband, if my husband is Igbo, and I did my feasibility study to be sure where I'm going to.
There are lots of things involved. You cannot put the Bible and tradition, or you cannot put Christianity and tradition like together.
Yeah.
Who does that?
That is it. Even if she doesn't know, and about the tradition.
Ooni of Ife, what were you thinking? They're going to do different things. They are going to that's going to contradict your religion. That's going to contradict your background. That's going to contradict everything you believe in Christianity. So I don't understand why she's leaving now. If she knew from the beginning that she would not be able to.
Getting it.
Can I say something, please?
Please say something.
Can I say something, please? I beg. Yeah. My name is Holly. I'm from Ghana.
Okay.
I beg to differ. You know, we have people going into marriages for various reasons. I've been married for 16 years, and I will tell you, marriage is not a bed of roses. So if someone is pulling out, let's be sure of our reasons. She has stated categorically that it wasn't about religion. And I can tell you so well. Yes, I can tell you so well. Even before the Ooni, got on the throne, he was a Christian. And in the background, he has not actually forfeited that part of him. Now, there are other issues that have been said to arise in the palace. For instance, there are other women. These women have been there before Naomi was eventually married. Naomi was married because she was single. She was not married before. She didn't have a child. All these women have been divorced and they have children. They could not be presented as the queen, but they are there now as Ayaba. You know, there's the queen and others are Ayaba. For her, it's been a struggle. It's been a struggle. And for me, I always say marriage is not 100% endurance, like that if we said. At a point, if you think it's going to work, and it looks like two of you might kill yourself eventually one day, it's wiser to step. Now, African traditional, I'm also from the royal home, one part Nigeria, one part Ghanaian. African traditional ruling homes, there's so, like my sister said above there, there's so much culture, there's so much tradition that if you don't know and you go into it, you would have to fight till the end. Now, this is not the first time Naomi is actually pulling out. She pulled out when she was pregnant. They pleaded that she returned. That was why the child was named Tade Nikawo, for the mercy, for the sake of the throne. Reconsider. So if you are in a relationship and all you have to do is reconsider, you should also give your life a thought. Are you happy at all? Are you ever happy for once? She's in a marriage where she feels she doesn't have the say. She's in a marriage where she thinks she's not happy, she's not fulfilled. At this point, I am going to put religious beliefs and all those things aside for my sanity. Would we say that, haven't we seen Muslims or people of other religion marry Christians and they have lasted? Haven't we seen? I'm a Christian, I'm a minister of the gospel, I'm trying not to be fanatic, I'm trying to be realistic. Haven't we seen Christians marry people from other religions and the marriage has lasted? There are 2 people in a marriage, but where you have 6, 7, 8, 10 people making decisions in a marriage, it will scatter. You see, we have been taught silly things. Like that the phrase was saying, we have been taught so many silly things. And we have grown up with those silly things. And we are beginning to reason like we are not actually the ones living in this world. Do you understand? Now, when I got married, my husband was an ekist. I was a spirit coco, as in spirit girl. But I was blasted, lambasted that I married an Hekanka believer, what. Few years along the line, he gave his life to Christ. And he's doing well. That is not to say that we have not had our differences. As a matter of fact, while we are both Christians, we have more differences than when he was doing his stuff. But it's my personal conviction. Do you get it? Now, in the ruling home, you have the permission and the authority to marry 10 wives. Let the Ooni marry 10 wives. And let us know that he has 10 wives. Don't stop declaring one wife where there are women who are suppressing Naomi, who are choking her up. She doesn't have the liberty, the total control as the queen in the palace. And you see something, very soon they are going to debunk the news. Very soon they will debunk the news because there is all manner of approach to restore peace and to bring her back. You understand? And when they do, they will tell you, oh, our account was hacked and all of that. Our account was not hacked.
Okay, I'm coming.
You understand? But marriage, divorce, if I feel like, God forbid, I'm going to kill my husband one day, like maybe I'm going psycho with what is done, withdraw. Is it not wisdom for you to withdraw than kill someone and have blood on your hands? So when it comes to marriage, sometimes I don't actually point fingers and you know, because there are some personal things the person must have endured and has not spoken out. That's my opinion.
Beautifully said. Beautifully said.
Daddy, please can I say something so I can go?
She was going into, she thinks that she was not going to go through any stress, because we all know that marriage is an institution and you're going there to learn a lot of things. Did she think it was going to be a rosy ride?
Even if you marry one person, even if you marry a person who is not an hobber, even if you marry one-on-one for love, when some challenges come knocking at you.
What she just said now is part of my question, and I want to go, but I want to quickly say something. Before going into a royal home, I think we all know that there are so many things attached to it. Like there will be many distractions, and there will be so many people giving orders, and even your king, before he could proceed with so many things, he will even have to discuss with the chief cabinet and all that. So we all know that before getting into a royal home, there are so many certain things that your husband, your king, will not be able to do by himself. So my own point of view is that she made a bold step. She, like what I read in the comment section, she might think that maybe she coming into the palace, she can help with so many things with prayer and all that. But if it doesn't work, fine. If she will go back there later, or if it doesn't work for her happiness, her good life, her prosperity is the most important things for her. And thank God, what I read, she said she has never get pregnant before, but she has a child in that marriage. So one of the good things, so she did not lose nothing. She lose nothing. She might be out there with another man and she might not get pregnant or something. But I'm happy for her. She has a fruit from it, something she can look up to as a reward from God. So that is my point of view. I'm happy to be on this live show with Daddy Priest. Thank you so much.
Thank you, my darling. Thank you for
Bye-bye.
joining. Thank you so much.
Daddy Priest, when we were young, our parents had, some of our parents, or if our direct parents didn't have it, our parents, family friends had 2 wives, 3 wives, 4 wives, and we were in the Orthodox churches, Methodist, Anglican, and the likes. They were Christians then, and they were living peacefully, cohabiting with the children and the you know, the stepwife and the siblings and everything, and there was no issue whatsoever. So I believe that at some point, I'm trying to stay away from religion, you know, and focus on us as Africans. That's why I'm quite open, you know. So if at this point I decide to marry a man with 3 wives, for instance, I know that I'm going in there for rivalry and I will be facing certain things. But at the same time, I still feel that as humans, when you get to a point where your mental health or your state of mind is jeopardized and 2 of you cannot relate, cannot cohabit, cannot work anymore, you should let go. You should let go.
Thank you so much. Hold on, sis. We have another gentleman here. Hello.
Hello, Daddy Freeze.
How are you
Nice
doing?
to do your video. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. So what is your opinion on the matter with the ground?
My opinion, I'm really very shocked. I'm shocked about it. I'll tell you why. Because in the first place, she knew she was getting married into such a traditional institution, a traditional environment. I don't think it's to be heard of that the wife of an Ooni, she's even the one announcing to the whole world that she is divorcing the Ooni. You see, things have changed so terribly. You said something earlier on in your broadcast, Daddy Freeze, that what worked for our parents cannot work for us now. You see, back then, women were very reserved. Women were more like, you know, I'm talking from Benin. I'm a Benin man. You understand? I understand tradition. Here in Benin, the Oba of Benin has 5 wives. This kind of thing, we can't hear about it. That the wife of a paramount traditional ruler is the one announcing that she's divorcing. Oh my goodness. To me, it shouldn't be. And I believe that it is because times have changed. That is just it. Times have changed. Modernization, liberalization. Our women are no longer as submissive. Even our children. The way, if you see my daughter, I have a 14-year-old daughter. When my daughter is playing with my head, I will be telling her, respect the daddy head. This is daddy head. She will say, I know. She will be tapping you can imagine. Now, in our time, we did not do that to our parents. Hey, my sister, you are laughing. Did you ever tap your father's head? Did you do that? You didn't do that. But times have changed. That is just it. But again, I say it's unfortunate. It should be unheard of. And in Benin parlance, such a woman, even though you are young, no other man is expected to have anything to do with her again. I would have said it be the a tree that has been mounted. Yes. A tree that has been mounted by a leopard should not be mounted by any other. That is it.
I'm a Ghanaian.
That is it. Yes. So it's unfortunate. Very, very unfortunate. But well, in the light of modernity, present day reality, it's better she moves on. Move on with your life and be happy. Even pastors, go and look at the Pastor Chris's. It's public knowledge. Pastor Chris Okotie, Pastor Chris Oyakilome. They divorced, and life what? Life has continued.
Did I not divorce?
They are living their life.
Did I not divorce?
What is it? Yes. So it's true. If there's something I enjoy about your show, Daddy Freeze, something I enjoy about your show, you are punctuating all those fables, all those wrong doctrines. That's why I love watching your videos. You see, a lot of people that will insult you because you are not a big daddy GO. I said it in one comment. Because you are not a big daddy GO, you don't have private jets, you don't have thousands of crowds that you show on TV. They will be commonizing what you are saying. But what you are saying, you say it based on information, accurate information. So it's part of our problem. What our head is being filled with today. This Christianity of I call it pentirascality. It's affecting us negatively. Otherwise, I mean, you should be submissive, more submissive. Polygamy is not a new thing. Hannah, the mother of Prophet Samuel, for God's sake, Jacob, the 12 tribes of Israel, they were born by 4 women. 4. Nobody that they're even the ones bringing women for their husband. Even Abraham's wife Sarah, she organized that sidekick. But our women these days, the liberalization and everything. So that is just the problem.
Thank you so much. All right, the lady here long, just before you go, have your final say. Lady in the black wig, please have your final say.
I don't have anything. I wanted to argue with this man, but I am
argue.
Yes. Where you're going. You support that. Daddy, please bye. I don't fit for trouble, I beg.
My question, Daddy Free. My question to you, though. My question to you. We know that Muslims marry many wives. We know other religions who marry many wives. And what I know from scriptures is Apostle Paul talking about deacons being husbands to one wife, bishops being husbands to one wife. Why is it a law or a lifestyle or a rule in Christianity that men are not permitted to have one wife? Or how did it come to be? I'm asking that the phrase.
No. Having wife came most likely from the mistranslation of Christianity.
Yes.
By the white who brought it. I'm telling you 100%. Personally, in 2021, there's not much space for polygamy. The world was not designed, or the current world we live in is not designed for more wives. Because are no longer, like you rightly said, the submissive women we used to have. Our daughters are not raised to be submissive.
No.
The way our mothers were.
Yes.
The societal module, which is important from the Western world, is for man, his wife, and their children.
Yes.
And the module is imprinted into our subconscious by a process called subtle incapacitation via via religion and via social organization. So you think normal, you see it normal for a young man to marry a young woman. It wasn't always like that biblically. Esther was in her teens. King Xerxes was in his 40s, early 40s. Ruth, like I spoke about, was about 40, and Boaz was about 80.
Exactly.
So that's true.
The Regina Daniels marriage to Negro is more of what was rampant in Africa and
very true
biblical times. Because
that's true.
As beautiful as Regina Daniels, young boy, no fit marry
at all.
Young boy, if he marry,
That's true.
it go be like back.
That's true. Mm.
Woman,
Very true.
beautiful, rich Bathsheba. If king no quickly see and marry, king go collect time from the person we get them. In Europe, it's called Oba Gbese Leya Where. The king put his leg on somebody.
Yes.
That is how you carry your wife to the king. Your wife is beautiful. The Oba Gbese Le, he will use his authority as a king to seize your wife.
But David did something like that.
Born for him.
David did something like that.
Yes, now that's what David did to Bathsheba. Even though his own, he actually sent her husband to go and die at war. Suffered for it. But let me tell you, it was that Bathsheba that gave birth to the next king.
Exactly.
Yeah. So let's understand that a normal woman can marry a young normal man, but there's a rare type of beauty. That's why I use Regina Daniels as example. Regina Daniels for Bible, no fit marry young man. It go dey rare. Look at Esther. She was the most beautiful, most appealing. The king fell, and she entertained him very well in bed. That's a narrative that many people run away from. If you read Esther chapter 2, you will realize that what she went to do with the king that made the king fall for her and put the crown royal on her head was sexual.
That is it.
Fine.
She played on him.
God's plan, and maybe God made her sweeter than all the other women, and God made the king fall for her. But let me tell you, it was not true talking.
Oh, no. It wasn't. It wasn't.
Especially enjoyed her, would she be brought back again
into his presence.
So we need to understand that that world does not exist. And sadly for the Ooni of Ife, the Ooni of Ife is an ancient god king.
Yeah.
That is now operating in 2021. And women of 2021 or women of around this time frame, in my own humble opinion, his wife should have been groomed.
Well groomed.
Not
well groomed.
Have given him a wife. The kind of wife that knows that if you want, instead of divorce, you would rather end there. Because according to tradition, this is a king. You can't just leave a king. But at the same time,
I was wondering. I wonder.
For a relationship is not enjoying.
Yeah.
So what, in order to avoid this kind of thing, they will look for maybe 5 beautiful maidens in Ife of maybe 12 to 16 and start grooming them down.
Yes.
For the king. Yeah.
Indoctrinating them.
The society provides salary for them every month. Good salary. They drive good cars. Until if they pick one of them, the other ones can now go and marry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And once they marry you, you know that it is your royal duty to do this. Let me tell you, if you go and read the book of Esther, the people who took care of the king's wife were eunuchs. They did not have male organs.
At all.
So that it's not like the women get
they would do anything.
They cannot. It cannot happen.
Harem. And this harem style was across the Middle East, across Africa, even down to China. Go and watch the Netflix movie Marco Polo. The king had his wife that he loved, but he had his harem. There was a queen and the women that entertained the king.
Yeah, that's true.
The queen, sometimes entertaining him like 6 women at a time. The queen goes in there to see her king. And as she's going, the king will tell her, I love you. I love you does not mean that I will not enjoy all these other women as king. Someone here is saying, if God's desire is for a man to have many wives, he would have made many Eves or Adam. Stop talking about what you... If it was God's desire, let me read a Bible to you and a message from God. Please. For this person that wrote this ignorant comment, I want to read the Bible to you to show you that this Bible, we did not learn it in Pentecostal church.
At all.
Let me read this scripture to you. 2 Samuel chapter 18, chapter 12, verse 8. Here is Prophet Nathan talking to David with a message of God. Maybe I should read from verse 7. Nathan said to David, "You are that man. The Lord, the God of Israel, says, I anoint." So this is now God talking. He brought a message from God. Says, "I anointed you king of Israel and saved you from the power of Saul. I gave you your master's house and his wives and the kingdoms of Israel and Judah. And if that had not been enough, I would have given you more."
I've given you
more.
Yes.
So you that you are coming, what's that Olodo's name? Where is he? Let me bring him out. God talking to David through Nathan. Are there two gods in the Bible? Leave what God created. Here is God telling David that if you had wanted more wives, you should have.
I would have given you.
Come, hey you. You had your wives. Tell them to serve me food. I'm hungry. Sorry, guys. If you had your wives, you had your concubines. But if you had one, I now gave you Saul's wives. Go and read it yourself. Stop being ignorant and coming to argue. 2 Samuel chapter 12, verse 7. The Lord God of Israel says, I anointed you as king of Israel and saved you from the power of Saul. I gave you your master's house and his wives. After David had his wives, David had his concubines, God still gave David the wives of Saul. And then this same God told David that if you had wanted more, why didn't
I would have given you.
ask? Why did you have? So you are saying, but it was not God's intent. You are confusing yourself. You have to understand that there's a difference between Adam and a king. Go and read about the benefits of being king that God gave to Saul. Adam was not a king. David was a king. We are clearly talking about a king here in the context of a king. So there is nothing wrong with a king being polygamous. The only problem I will have with a king being polygamous is if he doesn't announce to his queen that he's going to be polygamous.
That is all. And that the phrase, apart from that, I don't know why people say all this stuff that God did not create to Eve. Have they seen Exodus chapter 21 verse 10? Exodus 21 verse 10, it is clearly stated Moses was addressing the Israelites. And he says, if a man later marries another wife, he must continue to provide food and clothing. In other words, God never told them not to take more than one wife. It's there.
Translation.
Exodus 21:10.
Slave wife takes another wife for himself.
Yes.
Neglect the right of his first wife to food, clothing, and sexual intimacy.
That is it. In other words, God made provision for polygamy.
It was clear.
It was clear.
Christ's words where a man cannot just divorce his wife anyhow, except it be for immorality. Now, because those people who brought what is it called, Christianity to Africa, were the British. We saw Christianity through their eyes. That is why our wedding, which is considered a Christian wedding, is actually their traditional wedding.
Their traditional wedding. It's not a Christian wedding in any way.
In Nigeria today is not Christianity, it's British religion. A thwarted
extended colonialism.
A bastardization based on British ideology, culture, and dictates.
Yes, exactly. So,
do I preach polygamy? No. And my reason is based on Galatians chapter 3, verse 28. I would love to read to you. There is neither Jew nor Gentile, slave nor free, nor is there male or female, for you are all one in Christ. With this, it makes it difficult for a man to use his veto right over a woman, saying, I want a wife. Because the woman is his equal in salvation.
Yes.
So if he does want to practice polygamy, let me not lie to you, he can get very high sexual needs.
Libido.
Men have money. You see, it's one thing to have libido and you are poor. Baba, now you and Sophie una go end with that.
Daddy Freeze, good evening.
Hello, video. Sorry. I've not been. Let me just finish. I'll bring you on now.
Ah, Sophie. Ah.
Not like that.
Ogao.
That is a billionaire. If Dangote marries 100 women, all their children are better than all of us here.
He can take care of them.
They'll have access to better schools.
He can provide for them.
So the only thing require somebody like Dangote to do is, Vidoma, I love you. You are a beautiful girl, but I will marry another wife after you. I will love you. I will take care of you. I'll do all my rights for you, but just know that I like more women. And I can afford it. MKO Abiola could afford it. He could afford it. My problem is when a poor man decides to be polygamous.
That is the problem.
It is disastrous because at the end of the day, the mothers or the wives end up raising the children themselves. Someone said Old Testament religion is not Christianity. Let me tell you something about the New Testament that you realize. The New Testament is not a religion. The British made it a religion. And the words of Paul are to be very carefully measured. When you are taking Paul against Moses, the only person that can override Moses, in my humble opinion, as a Christian follower of Christ, is Christ. Christ can override Moses. And in overriding Moses, like you see in the examples of Matthew chapter 5 and Matthew chapter 19, Christ was very careful to spell out where he was overriding Moses. Like I said, there's not much room for polygamy in modern day Christianity. But I must declare to you today that polygamy is not a sin. It is not adultery.
At all.
It is not a sin unless the man
At all.
And he doesn't take care of them. Only then does it become a sin.
Exactly.
But as you know you are marrying Ooni of Ife, what did you go and expect to be there?
Okay.
Daddy Freeze, I actually have a question.
Okay, Vidom.
Well, good evening, sir. Is it evening or afternoon? Sorry, good afternoon, sir.
Good evening.
Daddy Freeze, my contribution is this. This thing is a cultural something. Like this marriage is best to be discussed on a cultural platform. Like, you know, a few days back, you had a section that you asked if religion should, if culture should be considered as a taboo, you know. Some people were saying that you don't have to be a cultural person and you still be a Christian. Let me say something from the angle of the single. I'm not married, but I can really say some certain things. This Miss Naomi actually knew she was getting married to royalty. This is royalty. This is not like the other people getting married to a normal man. This is you acknowledging that this is royalty. And for you to think of royalty, you should also consider, or as a human being that has a common sense, you should know that there are some things that are not being put on air for everyone to know, which you get to see when you enter into that marriage. Do you get it? Okay, fine. Let's just say, as a woman, you are not properly informed. You're not schooled about the afterlife in your marriage that she's experiencing now, that is discomforting her to want to leave the marriage. It's fine for a person to choose to leave the marriage. We get it. You're not happy. You can decide to leave. But the question is, were you not properly informed? What exactly were you expecting to see in the marriage that is making you feel like you were not properly informed? Like this was not what you expected. To me, this is culture, and I must say it. Like the modernization these days is making us to lose our culture. And sorry to say this, there is a difference between being submissive and being subdued. And which I understand that in royalty you are schooled to be subdued, to be submissive. I can literally get married to a normal man and choose to say some certain things and maybe come to social media and say some certain things. But in culture, there are some certain places you're not expected to be present. You as a cultural person, there are some certain things you're not expected to do. There are some certain things you're expected to like remove yourself entirely from. But now people feel that they want to live their life, they want to be happy, they want to do this, they want to do that. No, this is you getting married to a king, for crying out loud. Royalty has principles and they must duly be followed. And if you think you're not comfortable to follow those rules, then stay in your father's house. It's as simple as that. You just can't come and get married to someone and today you're saying you don't feel comfortable. What were you expecting? This is not about us being sympathetic with her. What was she expecting in the first place? Like, leave polygamy in this whole issue. There's nothing to consider about the Ooni being a polygamous person. This is a king. King have rules. There are principles that has been guiding this royalty and those kingdoms before your existence. So if you think you want to be a royalty, you want to get married to royalty, then you should prepare your sense, your head, as in everything. You should know that a whole lot of things are going to change about you. It's not just about your happiness. It's just about you putting things together for you to satisfy the culture. Do you get it? I don't understand people saying she's living because of religion. She's living because of...
Somebody here said this girl needs a gift. Please,
thank
our account. I will forward to Vidoma. Vidoma is my sister.
so that
I'm surprised. She's so young and she's wise.
So that the freeze. Let's not miss this whole thing with religion and what. To me, I think to who more is given, more is expected. If she actually made the decision to get married to the Ooni, she's expected to endure whatever comes out in that marriage. Is culture, is reality, is how it is expected. This is not like in my Igbo culture. I read some comments where people are saying our parents were suffering. Let me tell you something from my observation, Daddy Free. To our parents, most of them cheated. To our mothers, they were cheating, but they were very cultured about it. Do you get it? They were so cultured about it, unlike these days that you will see a married woman cheating so openly, you will see a married man cheating so openly. They cheated, but they did it with courtesy. They did it knowing that what they were actually doing was wrong. They were so conscious about their action. That's why we are seeing it like they were cultured. They were not really that cultured, we are assuming. They were covering it. They were being so careful about what they were doing. Just these days, married women are not, they are not being so, they are just like cheating openly and doing it. Like the one I witnessed in the office the other day, she was putting on her ring, like her ring was showing, and she came to mess up. Like I was telling my girlfriend, like, babe, how can this woman like feel is so okay excuse me, Like, it's so okay for you to put on your wedding ring, come to a hotel, and cheat so openly. Like, women are losing it these days. Do you understand? Those days, they were so cultured and conscious.
It's been so wonderful hosting you. Thank you, all of you. My dear brother, what's your name again?
Israel Uwogiye is my name.
You've been our companion throughout the day, and you spoke quite a lot of wisdom. Opinions might differ. I wish both of them well. I wish the Ooni of Ife very well, and I wish the Queen. Now, some people are suggesting that the story might not be true, that her account was hacked. Well, we are wait. I got the story from the Punch newspapers. It's on Instablog. It's on Linda AKG. And should there be a twist in narrative or a change in the direction of the story, or a reversal in the complexion of the issues, I will be the first to bring it to you and keep you up.
That's not happening.
Ways
it's not happening.
That I give.
That's not happening. That the sources are very credible sources.
I will
very credible sources.
Biblical source. Okay. Back.
It's all right. It's all right.
Back myself.
Have a pleasant day. Yeah.